no denying the fact our new talented superstars, and that's really what the WWE has become about over the last at least 5 to 6 years, the distribution of new talented superstars. So RVD brings back a lot of experience that he can kind of offer to new talented superstars like Kofi Kingston and Curtis Axel, who I would love to see RVD in a feud with over the Intercontinental title. I'd even go for RVD winning the Intercontinental Championship, which if RVD does not win the Money in the Bank briefcase in the All-Stars Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE Championship opportunity, is the most likely thing that RVD will do, because I don't see RVD immediately becoming a top contender after losing the Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE title. The obvious direction that RVD will head in if CM Punk faces Brock Lesnar by SummerSlam 2013 is to feud with Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental title as one of the big matches we will see at this year's SummerSlam. RVD versus Curtis Axel and Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk are matches that I'm hoping to see by SummerSlam from Los Angeles, and given the venue, these would be perfect matches to have at SummerSlam. RVD versus Curtis Axel just has a SummerSlam feel to it, and I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans feel the same way. And with how good Curtis Axel, Michael McGillicuddy has gotten since being repackaged and redistributed by the WWE creative team, this match is a match that needs to happen. And given the fact that it could be for the Intercontinental title, that is a huge plus for wrestling fans. And given RVD's history with the title and how diligently he defended the title, he defended the Intercontinental title statistically in one of the first matches of the brand extension back in 2001-2002 for one of the very first editions of Raw when the brand extension took effect. So RVD definitely has a lot of history with that title, so it makes perfect sense to give him that championship, and he was one of the best Intercontinental champions since inception back in the 1970s. We have seen so many incredible Intercontinental champions who have went on to become WWE champion after holding that title, and RVD certainly is one of them that falls within that category. And RVD was just as effective as a WWE champion. It was just disrespectful how RVD had to drop both the ECW and WWE championship. It was both disrespectful and unfortunate that RVD had to drop those titles around the same time and be suspended for 90 days. It was expected that RVD would make a return, but he turned down WWE's offer because he hated every place that he toured in, no matter if it was for television, a pay-per-view, or for tours. He hated some of the people that he worked with, and it just wasn't good circumstances for RVD, so he requested his release. He got it. It was a number of years before we saw RVD do anything with the WWE. It was in 2009. RVD would return for the Royal Rumble 08-09, and then we wouldn't see him do anything outside of the WWE for a number of years. He comes back to TNA Wrestling after making a scattered independence appearance from there to there. RVD wins the TNA Championship in his first match, and he holds that for a number of months. He leaves TNA Wrestling, and this really is the first time we have seen RVD, with a couple of exceptions of independent appearances, do anything for the WWE. So he has to do something credible, because if he doesn't, he will let a lot of wrestling fans down with how much hype RVD's been receiving since the last pay-per-view, WWE Payback, when promos of RVD's return started airing. And I read a very interesting article on WWE.com where RVD will be returning, of course, is in the birthplace of ECW, Philadelphia. Some of the hardcore wrestling fans will be in attendance at the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and they will all be firmly in the corner of RVD. Don't be surprised if RVD is the top favorite in this match, and WWE might be put in a position where they will have no choice but to give RVD his second Money in the Bank briefcase, because we have got a lot of people in this match that have held Money in the Bank briefcases before, and some wrestlers in this match, like CM Punk, not pointing any fingers or mentioning any names, that have held the Money in the Bank briefcase more than once, which kind of decreases CM Punk's chances of winning the Money in the Bank briefcase a third time in his career after previously holding the briefcase at WrestleManias 24 and 25. So with CM Punk out and a likely confrontation between RVD and CM Punk to occur at some point in this match, it kind of narrows it down to either RVD, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, or Kane to win this match. With how much tag team work Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and Kane have gotten in there with the Shield and teaming up on various different occasions, either in tag team pay-per-view matches or six-man tag team matches, which was the first team to defeat the Shield, those three superstars are top picks to win. And with CM Punk eliminated, the other one out of probably four top picks to win out of seven is RVD. And if RVD did win this match, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And if RVD cashed it in at SummerSlam, it wouldn't surprise me at all if history repeated itself in the way of having John Cena versus RVD again for the WWE Championship for the first time in what would be 7 years. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if RVD won this match. John Cena says whoever takes the WWE Championship away from him is going to have to earn it. And RVD definitely earned it back in 2006 when he won the MITB ladder match at WrestleMania 22, which at that point in time was the quickest that anyone had ever cashed in the briefcase for just the second briefcase match that was held at WrestleMania 22, back when it was a WrestleMania tradition. It was a great match then, and we haven't seen a Cena RVD match since, and RVD believes he has an advantage over John Cena anytime they wrestle, and RVD, if you ask him, believes he's a far better wrestler than what John Cena is athletically, and from a pure wrestling standpoint, he definitely believes it as well. So with the arrogance of RVD clashing with the support that Cena has received since his debut in the WWE in 2003-2004, this makes for a great match to also happen at SummerSlam. There was a lot of potential with this year's SummerSlam pay-per-view. There are a lot of chances we could see matches that wrestling fans want to see, and one of them is RVD versus John Cena. It's either going to be RVD versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. SummerSlam is what it comes down to, or RVD versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental Championship, which out of the two choices, on one side of the coin you have Cena versus RVD, and on the other side of the coin you have Curtis Axel versus RVD. Preferably, I'd like to see Curtis Axel versus RVD because that's the best chance RVD has right now of gaining momentum since his return. He doesn't have much of a chance in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm not saying that RVD should be counted out and that he will not win this match, because there is a slight chance that he will win this match given the venue of the Money in the Bank ladder match. It will be taking place in Philadelphia, the birthplace of ECW, but given the fact that Brock Lesnar could be involved in this match, given the fact that there are more credible superstars involved in this match that have been with WWE for the long run, like Randy Orton and Kane, the chances of RVD winning this match aren't as high as some people may believe that RVD has of winning this match. There is a chance that he could, but the most obvious direction RVD is headed in is the feud with someone other than the WWE Champion right now, and it could be RVD versus Curtis Axel if he doesn't align himself with Paul Heyman, because again, along with the article of RVD returning in Philadelphia, the birthplace of ECW, there was an article referring to the history of both RVD and Paul Heyman, and there's an extensive amount of history with RVD and Paul Heyman, and given the fact the last time Heyman and RVD worked together was for the relaunch of ECW, it wouldn't surprise me at all if RVD became the fourth guy to join Paul Heyman's stable of individuals that he represents. He's arguably one of the greatest managers of all time. He's led a number of superstars to championships like The Undertaker and Steve Austin, so why not align yourself with Paul Heyman, one of the most creative minds in the professional wrestling business. He's described as a genius, so why wouldn't RVD go back to his original roots and align himself with Paul Heyman? Then you would have a faction of Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Curtis Axel, and RVD. But I think that RVD will feud with Curtis Axel with the amount of potential and unpredictability and experience, along with the other two factors that he could bring to the Intercontinental Championship, and given his history with the Intercontinental title, it just makes perfect sense and fits perfectly with the return of RVD to feud with the Intercontinental Champion, and with how good Curtis Axel's been since being redistributed as the son of Mr. Perfect and the grandson of Larry the Axe Hennig, and combining both his father and his grandfather's legacies into one creative character in the WWE. I mean, RVD versus Curtis Axel fits perfectly with the SummerSlam feel of the 2013 SummerSlam, and given the fact it's taking place in Los Angeles for the first time in a number of years, why not have a match like RVD versus Curtis Axel? What direction you see RVD's career headed in? You can let me know on Facebook by joining in on the conversation and listening to us on our Facebook audio player, featuring up to 5 featured audio commentaries. Facebook.com/HW Entertainment. Send us a friend's request and subscribe to the ongoing conversation. You can follow us on Twitter, where you'll find a lot of videos referring to the return of RVD and his history with the professional wrestling business. You could find anything from a video of RVD in the WWE, ECW, or even TNA Wrestling amongst our tweet archives. There were over 13,000 present tweets on our Twitter wall. You can also watch us on YouTube for past video archives and this featured video on the return of RVD on the newly redesigned YouTube 1 channel of HW Entertainment, featuring links to our social media accounts including Facebook and Twitter, a detailed description, popular and featured videos, and a new YouTube channel 1 cover. It's great. YouTube.com/JonathanClarke22. Subscribe to us if you like this video, and I will see you next week. Mariana's Trench and Bye Now off the album Happily Ever After is coming at you after the break.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content. Weekly polls. Live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniels' rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans just like you that simply can't hold their thoughts in either, and they let it all out in our interactive forums. You have a voice, so use it. Simply visit forums.WrestleZone.com. Don't just be active, be reactive in the official WrestleZone.com forums. For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site, SureDog.com. Complete with daily news, exclusive video, interviews, live radio broadcast, interactive forums, and the very popular Fight Finder with bios and complete match-by-match histories of your favorite fighters. SureDog is the only place you need when it comes to mixed martial arts. Visit SureDog.com today.
Hi, my name's Adam Nudelman, but I play the Phantom on the radio.